Hi there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Roberta and this is Dhamma Inspired Living. So today I would like to talk about my ayahuasca experience, and so this might be a bit of a longer video, so bear with me. Or put me on double speed, that's how I watch all my videos. You can just do it in the settings on the YouTube channel. It'll be very funny as well. So my ayahuasca experience. Well, it was a while ago, but I definitely remember the feelings and what came up, so I'll just kind of tell you a little bit about it. I assume that you know what ayahuasca is. If you don't, then maybe you want to pause this video and go check it out. I'm not going to explain it in detail. So my experience was in London, and I guess maybe that's not so usual, I don't know, but I guess a lot of people go to South America or South America to do their retreat or their experience. And for me, it was very much just something that found me. Plant medicine just found me in London. I don't know how, really, but I was literally at NACO and the Medicine for the People concert, and I met some people, and one of the guys was like a shaman that I met, and he was just there doing a ceremony. This was a peyote ceremony, and he invited me. He's like, come to the ceremony. I was like, okay. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into fully, so I went to that, and I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, it was pretty epic. But I've heard of ayahuasca after that, because that's when kind of like this whole plant medicine world opened up to me. I guess how I feel with ayahuasca is that it's something that finds you. You don't really go out seeking it. That's my experience. It just found me. Also peyote and other things just found me. I was going the flow of life, and it just came into my path. And with ayahuasca, I remember at the time when I was living in London, I didn't really have much money, and these ceremonies were like hundreds of pounds, like I don't know, £400 for like a night or 2 nights, and with loads of people. And I was like, well, there's no way I can afford that. I didn't have that kind of money for a ceremony, so I was like, okay, well, I guess I won't do that. And then I was getting into the circle. I've been going to cacao ceremonies and like medicine song circles and things like that. And then one of my friends was like, oh, there's these 2 people coming back from South America. They've just been, I think with the Shipibo tribe. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was with them. And they're back, or they have been trained in that tradition, and they're back, and they're holding a really intimate ceremony. And it's going to be like really cheap, like just expenses. It was like £45 for the night or something like that. And do you want to come? And it was like people that I knew and I trusted, who were also going. And I was like, oh my god, I'm in, like, let's do it. And this was like a few days before. So then I got like the instructions, and you're supposed to be going on a dieta, which I guess I only had a few days to do that. So we arrived. It was kind of like midday, and we were just kind of like chatting. We ate a bit food that was prepared by the shamans, and the whole thing was in a yurt. Yeah, I can't quite remember, but yeah, it was a yurt. And there was maybe 8 or 10 of us in total, so it was beautiful, really intimate. And there are 2 shamans as well, for such a little group. And we started off with hape, which, if you don't know what it is, it's a shamanic snuff. It's a tobacco mixed with other plants that they prepare. Different tribes prepare in different ways, and also I guess depending on what is used for, it's going to contain different things. But we had this hape, and it was incredibly strong. The way they do it is that they blow this tobacco up your nose. It doesn't go into your lung. You don't like breathe it in, but it kind of goes into here straight away. It's pretty intense. So we started with that, and then obviously after like the sharing circle, we had a sharing circle, and then we started with that, and it was the whole ceremony was beautiful. It was dark, and maybe there was like a candlelight, and it was just I still get chills. It was just the most beautiful thing I've experienced in my life. And a few insights in terms of what actually happened through the ceremony. We all were invited up to the shaman and had our doses. And then a lot of it was meditation and silence, and a lot of it was the shaman singing, and they were singing just where they were sitting, but then they came around and they did healing on everyone individually, and that was incredible. When you have the medicine and then you have two shamans singing at you and doing this healing work, very, very powerful. For me, I didn't really purge. I don't tend to purge in ceremonies. I don't know why. Maybe I have a block, or I'm not sure why. But I was just having like a realization after realization after realization, and just like in tears from joy. And also, yeah, I think joy and gratitude, really. And one really strong, well, a few insights, but one of the things that I was really feeling in terms of healing was my lineage from on my mom's side, and my grandmother. My grandmother was an alcoholic, and I guess she suffered quite a lot, and also my mom. Well, my mom isn't an alcoholic, but I guess she suffered a lot, and I was feeling a lot of healing on that lineage on my mom's side, and that was beautiful. You just see you go down, you see your mom and your grandmother, and then all the people who came before, and it's just beautiful. And another insight that I had was that you don't do anything. Like, there is a spirit that works through people, and I guess in a ceremony like that you really, really experience that we are all just like players in a game, and this whole play is orchestrated by the spirit. And that was really powerful, because I guess the ego likes to say, oh well, I've done this and I've done this and I've done this, but actually you're just a vessel to whatever wants to come through, and you either listen or you don't. So that was really powerful as well. And then one other thing that really touched my heart was, as I was sitting there looking at everyone, Spirit was telling me, as I was just sitting there, that that I should stop being so hard on myself, which I felt very emotional, because I am very hard on myself, and maybe this is true for a lot of people, that we are very hard on ourselves. And I remember, because I was like sitting upright like this, and I was like not moving, and the spirit was telling me, like, you don't need to be so hard on yourself, just chill out a little bit, man. Like, you're perfect the way you are, and you're safe, and everything's fine. And that was so beautiful, because I don't know, I guess depending on what your life experience is, if you have a life experience like I have had, where you have a lot of harsh things from your parents as you're growing up, and you just feel like you have to be perfect all the time to be safe, and that can be very tiring. So Spirit was like, no, it's okay, you don't need to be so hard on yourself, you're safe. That was nice. And as I was looking around, Spirit was saying, you see all these people here? They're all like children. Like, we have to treat each other like we would treat children, with respect, with love, with kindness, not assuming anything, and not being aggressive. Just these people, they're all children. We need to treat each other like children. And I think that was really powerful for me, because I was like, yeah, this is how we have to treat each other, like we are children. And well, I guess it's another topic, how children are treated, because in an ideal situation, how we would treat children, with respect, with kindness, with patience, infinite patience. Yeah. And the one other thing, and this is maybe the last thing that I'll share about my experience on this journey, maybe two, was that okay, so this first one is just going back to Spirit works through us and you don't have a say. I remember taking the first dose and I was like, oh, whew, this is intense, right? I remember, like, I took it, and then the person in front of me, the shaman, they were like breathe because I was like they were like breathe, and I breathed and I swallowed it down and I was like okay. And I remember after I had that first dose I was like, oh, well, there's no way I'm having another one, because they were saying that there'll be a second dose later, and I was like that's not happening. But when I heard the sound, like, okay, if anyone wants to come for their second dose, and it's really weird because you don't feel like that sound is coming from a person, it feels like it's just coming from somewhere, but obviously it was the shaman saying that. And I kid you not, my body was like, it just stood up and walked over and sat down. And I was like, okay, I want some more. And it didn't feel at all like it was me who made that decision. That was a decision that was made, and I was like, okay, I'll follow. And then I had another dose, and it was after that I had this experience, and all I can explain this experience is bliss slash death. So you're just in a state where you feel connected to everything, really, like everything is connected. And I remember feeling, wow, this is what death is, when you just go back to being connected to everything. And I remember feeling, part of me was a bit scared because I was like, what if I'm dead? What if I died? And I remember like another part of me thinking or feeling like, if this is death, then count me in. Because it was so beautiful. You just really feel really connected to everything, and that was a very transformative experience. And I remember from that time on, I have a very different relationship to death and to dying. And yes, a part of me feels still scared, because I think maybe that's just some kind of primal fear. And especially if I think of dying, I think of like my children and not wanting to leave them without a mum. But the actual experience of dying, I feel like it would be a lot like an ayahuasca experience, where you might go through a lot of stuff, but you end up in this blissful state. So that was powerful. And then in the end, in the morning, as we're coming out of the experience, the shamans were playing their hand pen. Is it hand pen or this hand drum thing? But it has this beautiful, beautiful sound, and singing. Oh, it was beautiful. I just had such a wonderful, wonderful experience, and so many insights. And I think that was probably the experience that changed my whole life, hugely. You know, there are certain points in your life that happens. One was my Vipassana experience. The second one definitely was an ayahuasca experience. And then giving birth. Those were, these really significant things. So yes, thank you for listening to my story. And I would love to hear your experiences. If you've had any experiences, or if you want to, please share in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and liking it. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.